Why did America get involved in World War I? Although America's involvement in World War I on the side of the Allies now seems inevitable, America's decision to enter the war on the Allied side was rooted in a complex mixture of historical and contemporary reasons. 3 points are: America had persistent economic and cultural ties to Britain and France. Number 2, the effort of Britain to entangle America in the conflict. Number 3, progressive interest in spreading democratic institutions. Point 1. It had persistent economic and cultural ties to Britain and France. In 1914, America was no longer an English country. It had old alliances with France because of Marquis de Lafayette. There were also many economic ties to France, such as fashion. Trade kept going during the war, even though America wasn't in it. European immigrants also helped the relationship with Britain. Many people of the United States are drawn from many nations, and chiefly from the nations now at war, said Woodrow Wilson. Britain also helped us in the Spanish-American War, and America helped them with their colonies. America and British marriages also helped too. These marriages were usually between rich American girls and poor royalty in Britain. They were usually arranged, and men would take the money from the girls and to repair their estates. They were usually unhappy marriages, but one of these marriages resulted in the birth of Winston Churchill, who helped lead Britain through World War I and World War II. But they also strengthened the relationship between America and Britain. The British Propaganda Office invested a great deal of effort in getting America involved in World War II. One of these ways was through atrocity propaganda. One of these types of propaganda was through a meat processing plant in Germany called the Kadaverwerk und Kunstanstalt. Cadaver, I think, is the American word for human or like person or something like that, or another word for that. So Britain used this meat processing plant in Germany to make Americans think that Germany was butchering humans and using them for meat, or like their fat or something, like turned into lard or other candles, I think. These fake reports, quote, encouraged later disbelief when early reports circulated about the Holocaust under Hitler, said Randall Marlin. Another one of these atrocity propagandas that they used was the sinking of the Lusitania. The Lusitania was a cruise ship that was going from New York City to Liverpool. The Germans had posted a notice in an American newspaper saying that they would sink any ship flying a flag of Great Britain or her allies. Sure enough, on May 7, 1915, a German U-boat hit the Lusitania and sank it quickly, and only a few survived. Britain also used the Zimmerman telegram, which they intercepted and decoded. It promised southwestern America, such as parts of California, Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, etc., to Mexico if they didn't side with America or Britain. But this was stopped. Progressive interest in spreading democratic institution also was another reason why America got involved in World War II, or one. Woodrow Wilson said, "Remember that God ordained that I should be the next president of the United States." Wilson's perspectives on World War I changed when he saw the opportunity to spread progressivism. He wanted to make the old Europe into the new America, which is kind of funny because Europe made America into the new Europe. Woodrow Wilson made a speech called the 14 Points. These points were for peace, and it took many domestic progressive ideas and made them into foreign policy. This was only an explicit statement of the aims for war and America's involvement in the war. Although America's involvement in World War I on the side of the Allies now seems inevitable, America's decision to enter the war on the Allied side was rooted in a complex mixture of historical and contemporary reasons. America had persistent economic and cultural ties to Britain and France. Number 2, the effort of Britain to entangle America in the conflict. And number 3, progressive interest in spreading democratic institutions.